Question 15, we're given 4/6 times 3/5, or 4/6 multiplied by 3/5. And with fractions and multiplying, it's straightforward. All you do is you multiply the numerators and you multiply the denominators. So all it'll be is do a fraction line. For the numerators, it's 4 times 3. 4 times 3. And for the denominators, 6 times 5. 6 times 5. Put the fraction line there. 4 times 3 is 12. And 6 times 5 is 30. Now we can simplify this. So let me write the word simplify. That just means to make simpler or easier. So I can see straight away that the numerator is in the 2 times table and the denominator is in the 2 times table. So what I'll do, I'll divide the top by 2, and whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom number, to the denominator. So I have to divide that by 2 as well. So I'll end up with 12 divided by 2 is 6, and 30 divided by 2 is 15. Now if I look carefully and I know my 3 times table, I can see that the 6 and the 15 are both in the 3 times table. So I can divide the top by 3, and whatever I do to the numerator or the top, I have to do to the denominator. I can divide the denominator by 3. They have to be the same number. It's important you know that. So I do the fraction line. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 15 divided by 3. So if I do my 3 times table quickly, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I can stop there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. So what I can say is 12/30 is equivalent to 2/5. And let me write that word equivalent. All it means is the same value. Or equal value. Question 16 tells us to multiply 30 by 40. So it's 30 times 40. Now if you look carefully, they both are whole numbers and they end in 0. So what I can do is I can do this calculation. 3 times 4. So what I've done is I've hidden these 2 zeros. 3 times 4 is 12. Now what I do is I simply bring these 2 zeros back here. And as before, 1, 2, 3, comma. This here is my thousands. So it's 1,200. Question 17 is 581 divided by 7. 581 shared by 7. So divided by and shared are the same thing. Now what I like to do with this is write it as 581 shared by 7. Now it's raining and the 581 is getting wet, so what we do is we build a bus shelter and put the 581 inside. 581, and then the 7 has to go outside. Now what I do is I say, how many 7s are there in 5? There's 0. So this 5 I carry over to the 8, and that becomes 58. So now I ask myself, how many 7s are there in 58? This is where you need to know your times tables. So let's try that here. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, and we can stop there because the next number would take us over 58. How many 7s are there in 58? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 56, so we have remainder 2. So how many 7s in 58? There's 8. And the remainder gets carried over to the next column. So this 1 becomes 21. Now the next question is, how many 7s are there in 21? So if I go down here, 7, 14, 21. That's 1, 2, 3. So we can put 3 here. And because there's no remainder, we can stop. So our answer, as before, is 083. Now, remember what we said about the leading 0? We don't need that. So our answer really is 83. So 581 divided by 7 is 83. Now we'll try this using the long division method. So you have 581 shared by 7. How many 7s are there in 5? 0. Then what we do is we do 7 times 0 is 0. And now we simply subtract the 2. So 5 take away 0 is 5, and we bring this 8 down. How many 7s are there in 58? And we did that last time where we did the 7 times table. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63. So that's too much. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many 7s are there in 58? 8. 7 times 8 is 56. And we simply subtract these two. 8 take away 6 is 2. 5 take away 5 is 0. Now what we do is we bring this 1 down. So now we have 21 left. How many 7s are there in 21? So if we look here, 7, 14, 21. So that's 1, 2, 3. So we put 3 here. And our final step is 7 times 3 is 21. And we simply subtract them two. And we end up with 0. Because 21 take away 21 is 0. and our remainder is 0. Question 18 is 0.04 divided by 10. Now with a question like this, whenever you're dividing by 10 or multiplying by 10, I always like to write this number here first. 0.04. And I add a few zeros at the end there and a few zeros at the end here. It doesn't matter how many. But now this is all going on in my head. And I know the shortcut. Whenever I divide by 10, I move the decimal point back one place to the left. So it goes back to make the number smaller. So this decimal point has come to there. So now we can remove all this here. So all of this can disappear. Now I have this number here. So I don't need all these, so I can remove them. And I can leave this 0 here because it makes the number easier to read, but these two I can get rid of. So the number I have now is 0.004, and I can write that here. 0.004. So 0.04 divided by 10 becomes 0.004. So my rule in my head, what I do is if I'm going to divide by 10, I move the decimal point one place to the left. Okay, so it goes in that direction. So that's my shortcut. This is all going on in my head. So an example, 0.3 divided by 10. So I have 0.3 here. I add 1 or 2 zeros here just to help me. And I move this decimal point back to the left. I remove this. I remove the zeros at the end that I don't need. And I remove this here. I can leave this 0 in, so it's 0.03.